Okay, so I am really excited about this because I think this is something that we honestly need to be talking about every single day because it is just a part of what we do. It is a part of sharing our business through social media. It is doing stories and doing it consistently. I don't care if you work Facebook or Instagram or both, your stories need to be up and they need to be on point. That's just what it is. That's where people go first. When you pick up your phone, if you open up Facebook or Instagram, the first thing you do is you go to stories. That's why Facebook and Instagram puts it there. They want you to go there first. So if yours are empty or if they do not draw people's attention, like your business won't go as quickly as it can. Your network won't grow as much as it can. It just won't be as good. Okay. So I brought 3 girls on that I feel like are just so freaking phenomenal. I mean, there's so many that are great at this, but I have 3 girls, you guys, they have newly promoted in the last couple months to double and to triple. And they are just really, really amazing at doing this. And even though none of them actually have like, I think no more than like 5,000 Instagram followers. Shy, you don't. Shandee, you don't. Makayla, I don't think you do either. So they don't even have the amount of followers that I have or Makayla has, yet they just went double and triple diamond. Okay. So that just tells you sometimes while you're growing your numbers, you just need to give quality content and that will draw people to your page. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and start. We're going to go ahead and start with Shy because Makayla specifically texted me and asked me not to make her go first. I love calling people out because it's so fun. It's so cute though. Everybody's got to have a first time and then you're like, hey, I'm ready. You can put me back on. Okay, so I see your face first, Shy. So I am going to spotlight it, first of all. You're just like a beach babe. You just look like a beach babe. Let me go to unmute you really quick. Hold on one second. So Shy, you guys, she literally just went double diamond, but she also just took her husband double diamond and she's going triple this month. And today is her birthday. So, I mean, what's your excuse? I don't know about you, but there's just isn't one for people who really want this. So Shy, can you just kind of give us like 5 minutes of your story? I know I didn't prepare you for that, but just tell us like who you are, why you started, just a little bit of your backstory.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm Cheyenne Diaz. I am Mikkel's sister-in-law. And I'm so dumb because I watched Mikkel for 2 years before I decided to do this. And I was doing other things. Like, I don't know. I think I did 3 or 4 other companies, you guys. So I thought what everyone thinks. Like, oh, they're all the same. Oh, she got lucky. She's not really, doing as good as she says she is. But then over time, I just watched Makayla like transform, like herself personally, but then like I just watched their lives and I was like, okay, there's got to be something different. And so one day I was randomly just like, okay, I'm in, I'm going to do it. And I just kind of jumped in with both feet. I started in January of this year, so it's only been a few months. And my first month in, 3 weeks in, I went to conference. That was life-changing. I bawled and I met some of my best friends at conference. So whenever you get the chance to go to conference, make sure you go, even if you're brand spanking new. I literally hadn't ranked at all, or I don't even know. I'd signed a few customers, but I hadn't done a whole lot, but I went and it was life-changing. So I think if you can just get to know some of the girls, get to know their stories, like one, I don't drink coffee, but I roomed with Marissa who drinks coffee, who has bomb A results. And so I don't feel bad like saying like, oh my gosh, my girl Marissa lost 90 pounds because like I know her. Anyway, so conference was awesome. I didn't promote my first month. My second month, I double promoted to Emerald. And I shared this on the team page, but I was like 2,000 GV away on the last week of the month. And I was in my head counting myself out until Marissa said, oh, I have 2,300 GV and I'm doing it. Like it's happening, it's done. And I was like, freak, I'm very competitive. So when she said that, I was like, okay, well then I guess I'm doing it too. Like if she's gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. So I went Emerald my second month in February, and then March I went Diamond. That was so awesome. That was like a breath of fresh air. Like, oh my gosh, this really works. And it's like, it's when you get the comma in your check, you're like, okay, I get it. I totally get it now. But and then what was that? March, April. I didn't promote, but some of my team did. And then May, I double promoted, or I promoted mine to double, and then I double promoted my husband's. He skipped diamond and went double diamond. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. But if you are new, you guys, this company is better than all the companies. Just take my word for it, because I didn't have the support, the training, the one-on-one, like, hey, text me your conversations and I'll help you. Like, none of that was a thing. And also, we just do more here. And I had heard a lot of negative things about this company, and I just believed it, even though I didn't know. And now I'm like, oh, that was Satan trying to keep me from a good thing, because this is the best thing. And yeah, I love
Oh,
it.
I love that so much, because I was actually, and I usually don't talk about this, like, but I was literally talking to somebody last night about this, and I was like, I am so grateful that It Works was my first company, because I have researched other ones now, and I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I would have wasted my time. But anyways, you are so awesome. But you guys, did you hear that? She joined in January and she's going triple this month. And when you go triple, you're competitive. I'm just letting you know, you will be hitting a team record of fastest triple on our team. And so that just, oh my gosh, that just freaking makes me so excited for you. So why did you start? Like, have you just always been like, I want to do something from home to make money? Like, are you just like, I want to be rich? Or are you just super competitive? So you're like, I need to like do something to compete with people?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of all of that, except for I felt really bad when I first joined, because my husband has a really good job. He does web development, and we didn't need the money. Like, we have a nice house, we have nice things, like he can pay all of our bills. So it wasn't a necessity for me. So at first, when I first started, I was like, crap, like, how do I share a story? Because I didn't want to feel like I was just being greedy. But honestly, for a mom of two, like, I really needed it for myself, because I had put like myself and so many things on the back burner, that like I just needed something for me. I also grew up playing sports. I got a teary eye. I played volleyball in college, so I am a very competitive person, and I haven't been like working out as much as I should have since I had kids. But this kind of like brings back my competitiveness and my fire, and I'm really excited about it. And how I know when I'm like so into something is when I start having dreams about it. Like, I used to have dreams about like volleyball, and now I had a dream the other night that I got announced as a top enroller. So I'm like, okay, like, it's like I wake up excited about it, and I go to bed thinking about it, and then I dream about it. And it just like gives me something for myself. And then also, I used to feel really guilty, like buying anything for myself or getting pedicures or anything like that, just because I just felt like it was our family's money that I was being selfish with. And so now, like, I just went shopping the other day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I did not get like guilt. Like, I'm huge on returning things. So like, I always wear things with the tag the first time, and then I return it if I need to. But like, after I went shopping, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't feel guilty for like doing that for myself. So even if you don't like need it for money, like, you need it for you. And just like the personal growth has been awesome.
I love that. It's so true. Like, people underestimate the slow, I feel like when you become a mom or a dad or whatever, like, you slowly kind of like lose yourself, and then you wake up and you're like, what just happened? But this business, like, it just brings the life back into you. So I love that so much. Okay, so we had already discussed what you're going to discuss, so I'm just going to mute myself and let you take it away, sharing about your stories and tips and interaction and all that good stuff.
Okay, awesome. So I have notes because I get nervous. Okay, so stories. The first thing I want to talk about is being consistent. So Christy already talked about this, but I got some stats. So there are 500 million people that use stories. That's like a freaking crap ton of people. And then 70% of people look at your stories before they do like your feed, your content. So stories is where you're going to get a lot of people. So I feel like this is just like beating a dead horse, but if you're not consistent, like, it's never going to work with anything. You have to be consistent with the whole 6 list, everything, in order to make this work. And the more that you show up, the more people are going to take you seriously. If you think about it, like how long did you watch the person that you enrolled with before you finally took the leap? Like if they were just on their stories like every once in a while, like every few months when they promoted, like, oh my gosh, I promoted. You're like, okay, cool. But if someone's on there every day, like you're going to trust them more because they're being consistent, and that's what's going to draw you to them. Okay, so I'll grab my phone really fast. When you're being consistent with stories, a big thing is I try to post mine like every 2 hours. Sometimes days get crazy, but you want to be putting something in your stories every couple hours. So if you're brand new, this is what's up. If you're here, then sorry if you've been here for a while, but all these dots, okay, these are all stories, and you want to get to the very front. So if someone posts 7 hours ago in their stories and then you post 6, you just cut in front of them. And so every time you post, you're just getting further and further to the front of the stories, and those are the ones that people view first. So if you are new and you're not used to being consistent with your stories, just set an alarm for every 2 to 3 hours. And it doesn't have to be anything like so thought out and crazy. As long as you're getting something up, that's going to bump you up and get more people viewing your stories. The other thing with being consistent is just you never know who needs what you have to offer on that day. So just for example, if someone gets a medical bill on a certain day and they're going, crap, how the heck am I going to pay this? First of all, if you're being consistent, you're going to be the first one that comes to their mind. But second of all, they might just be scrolling and see like, oh, she just paid her bill off with that. Like I could do that too. Or the other thing that I thought of that I feel like has happened a few times is someone will be shopping that day in the dressing room and not be the size that they want, and they might be feeling really down on themselves. If you've been consistent posting your before and afters, your product stories, you're going to be the first one that comes to mind. And that's when you're going to get the customers and the distributors, is when you're being consistent every single day. And even if you're not getting a lot of interaction at first, people are always watching. Seriously, I have people come out of nowhere that I didn't even know watch my stories. And they're like, okay, I want to purchase this. I'm like, all right, let's do it. So yeah, if you're not being consistent, people aren't going to be interested, because if anyone is going to do this business with you, they want to know that you're there for them. And how do you show that you're there for them? You got to show up for yourself and show that you're, showing up every single day and that you're there for them. So, I already talked about, that's kind of how you build trust. But the other thing that I want to talk about is doing lives in your stories, like show your face. If you're not showing your face, then you're not going to grow, honestly, because everyone can post the same stories. I mean, we do, right? We all post the same product stories or the sales, or even some of the distributor stories that are just pictures. Everyone can post that. So what makes someone pick you over someone else? And that's really just showing your face, because that shows your personality. That shows, if you're telling a story, they can feel your emotion, they can feel your excitement. And that's something that you can't get from a picture or from text. So showing your face is like the biggest thing. Also, it shows that you're not perfect. Like my house is a disaster and I stumble over my words. And if people are watching you and they think that they have to be perfect, then that's intimidating. Like they're not going to want to do something if they think that they have to have all their crap together. Like my crap's not together. My kids are crazy. I stutter. Pregnancy brain turns into mom brain, and that lasts for life. And like I always mess up my words. So just show people that you're real, and don't edit those out and try to make your stories perfect, because nobody's perfect and nobody wants the pressure of trying to be perfect. Okay, so when you're doing videos, obviously you can do business ones and product ones, but another thing is just showing your face and talking about things that aren't business or product related, because that's where people are going to relate to you first, most likely. If you're a mom and you're talking about your kids or showing your kids, or, one thing that I got the most interaction from once was I shared my mascara, like this new mascara that I got from the drugstore. And tons of people were commenting about that. And the more they interact with you when you're talking about your real life stuff, the more they're going to see your product and your business stories too. There are some filters that you can use. I'll just pull mine up really quick. Okay, so there's like all these filters down here. And if you're watching a story and you see one that you like, it'll show up in the top left corner like what the filter is. And you can go click on it and then save it to your filters. But along with just sharing things that aren't product and business, do what other people are doing. Like there's this question app, whatever, filter, and you just click it and it like asks you random questions and you talk about yourself. And then people relate to you more and they trust you more. And that's when they're gonna buy from you or, you know, build a business with you. Okay, so as far as doing product, there are so many different things you can do, but I think one of the biggest things is just showing yourself using it and talking about how you feel. Like we all know the description of the products, but if you're saying like genuinely how it makes you feel and how it's changed you, how you felt before versus how you feel now taking the product, that's what people are going to relate to more than just like, oh, it has all your fruits and veggies and this and this and this and this. Like talk about how you feel when you're using the product. And if you don't have your own personal testimony, you can get on and show your face and talk about someone else that does have really good results. You know, that's why I'm so glad I met Marissa, because I just talk about her results all the time. Okay, so also with the business, when you're sharing, sorry, my air just turned on. When you're sharing the business, obviously you can share the small wins and the big wins. Everything counts. And sometimes it's easier to relate to the smaller things than it is the big things. So the other day when I went shopping and I realized that I didn't have that like anxiety and that guilt, I just went live on my stories and shared that, and I showed my face. And it doesn't have to be like, oh, we paid all of our bills. There's no emotion in that, you know. And you got to think about who you want on your team, like who your people are. If you're a mom and it's something about, you know, your kids and it's the business, whether it's like, I was so worried about how I was going to pay for 2 kids in diapers and we were really stressed about money, we were going to do cloth diapers, just make it a story. It's like how we teach you how to do your stories on Instagram and Facebook when you're posting. It's the exact same thing, but you're just showing your face and talking about it and just being real and raw with your emotions. This is just what people relate to. Also, you could do unboxing when you get your products. Even if you haven't used them yet, again, you can talk about, oh, someone else used this and they had good results. This is how they felt, and now I'm going to use it too. I'm super excited, and I'll keep you updated on how I like it and how my results, Rafi, and what my results are, because people want to see the journey too. They don't want to just see like, oh, look at me, I lost 25 pounds. But if they see you every single day being consistent, sharing that you're using the product, you're taking them on that journey with you. And then they can see like, oh wow, she's been doing this, she's been doing it consistently, and now she has really great results. And I think for your customers, that's important, because we have so many customers that are like, oh, I've been doing this for 2 weeks and I didn't lose the weight I wanted. And you're like, well, guess what? Me neither, because I've been doing this for 2 months. Anyway, so that's super important. The last thing that I want to share was when you're doing your videos on stories, is just to add little captions at the bottom in text, because a lot of people don't listen to their stories. Like a lot of them have the volume down or off. And so if you can just put text on there that's like attention grabbing, they're more likely to listen to it. And then also, you don't want to have like 8 or more floating head stories. So try to keep it short. If you're going to do a long one, then just do an Instagram TV video and then share it to your stories. But anyways, I think that's all I have for stories. Oh, one more thing. There's 2 apps you can use. So if you don't want to just type the text over your story, you can use add subtitles. That's a text, and it will literally like translate everything word for word. The second thing you can do is, if Instagram keeps like timing out on you when you're trying to tell a story, just take the video on your camera, and then you can use the app Cut Story, C-U-T, Cut Story, and it will just cut it into the 15-second increments so that you can upload it to Instagram. But yeah, that's all I have.
I love that. So really quick, the caption thing, the subtitles, is that an app or is that on Instagram?
It's an app. It's called Add Subtitles.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. They were just straight to the point.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I love that. So those were really just very like straightforward, really, really good tips. And I just wrote a couple things down that I want you guys to like really just take it in, because if you're not taking notes, you should be, because every single one of these things will grow your business. If I can guarantee, if you're consistent with it for a week, you'll see phenomenal results. Like, um, gosh, the captions thing, I never used to do that. And then I saw other people doing it. You guys, like, copy the right cat. Like, I might be where I'm at, but I'm still learning. And I was like, wow, they have subtitles. And I was like, you guys think about it. A lot of people watch stories when they're breastfeeding their sleeping baby or middle of the night, or they're in bed with their husband. And has your phone ever gone off? And you're like, ah, go to the next one. Like, you exit out really quick because it's so loud. So adding the subtitles, it really helps to like, okay, this looks interesting to me, I'm going to go watch it. And then you guys, with the face thing, number one, I love that you kind of gave facts, but this is something I heard a long time ago. If you see people give out business cards nowadays or any political signs, they always put their face on it. They put their face on it because it gives a personal connection between you and them. If you don't show your face ever, you will have zero connection. You are literally, this is the way I would like to think of it, okay? You either have someone drop a flyer on your doorstep. It doesn't have their name, their information. You're just going to be like, oh, I'm throwing that in the trash. Or you have someone come and they knock on your door and they introduce themselves and say, hey, I just opened up a restaurant down the street. I want to give you a coupon for it. How much more likely are you going to actually hear about that restaurant, look it up, potentially even go there? A lot more. Okay. So showing your face, it's not about like being Instagram worthy. It's not about this. It's about being a real freaking person. Like, look at me. I'm cute, right? This is recorded. Like, you have to be a real person, you guys. And that's just what is like, it's just a huge thing. So another thing she said too, you guys, do the viral stuff. So when she was saying like, if Instagram has something, do it. So like for a minute they had that at home thing or whatever. Anybody that would, and they shared mine, and I got a bunch of followers from it. Any like time they have something that's viral, it was like a sticker that was like at home, I put it on one of my stories. They shared that to like all of Instagram because my page was public when I posted that. And literally I got people like following me because of that. Like, that's just what it is. And what Stacy said too, you guys, like, she shares literally her personal results got her to ambassador plus, her 2.0 double diamond. Like, you're just sharing yourself. So many people, so many of you guys, you overestimate. You see that, okay, well, Chrissy's got the results, so I got to get the results. Shandee, Makayla, Eliana, Stacy, they all have the results, so I have to get the results and then post about it. It is the opposite. I have shown every single stage of my results. Okay. It doesn't mean you have to have weight loss results, hair growth results. Every single night you take hair, skin, and nails, show it. I'm taking my hair, skin, and nails, taking my hair vitamins. Look at it. It's so easy. It's so awesome. It's so great. Like, you have to show your journey, because if not, they're just going to, when you show those results, they're just going to clap for you. Congratulations. So proud of you. So grateful. Good job. But if you show your journey along the way, you're going to sign customers every single step of the way. And they're going to see, oh my gosh, she was a real person. Like, she had short hair. I have short hair. Now she has long hair. I want long hair. Like, it's just like a correlation, right? It's very simple. So let's go on to Shandee. Thank you, Shy. You're awesome. Going triple freaking diamond this month. So freaking excited for you. There's your face. She got ready for us, you guys. It's so funny because I didn't even get ready today. Hold on, let me unmute you.
Okay. If I'm going live, gotta make sure that I get my ready.
I was going to, but when I'm like gonna burn my hair, I was like, I'm not gonna burn my hair for team training. I'll do it this way.
Give it a break.
Okay. All right. Wow, guys, we just hit 300 people. That is so freaking cool to me. And at the end, I'll share some numbers with you guys that Aaron pulled. So he's been doing this cool little like graph thing with our volume and this and that and whatever. And I'm going to show you guys when we're done. Okay, so who are you?
Hello, I am Shandee Messer. I am triple diamond. Woohoo! So a little bit about me. So I was watching Christy through social media for quite some time, you guys, before I actually took that leap, which I know you're surprised you hear that story a lot. But I had she actually had me on Facebook when I was a hairdresser in Las Vegas. And then at that time, I say God's timing wasn't right. Didn't start with her. I ended up in Arizona and I met my husband and he wanted me to be a stay-at-home mom. And I went through the struggle of postpartum depression. And I was like, I need to be doing something. I am kind of just like Shai said. I was like, I need to be doing something. I can't just let my husband be the sole provider for our family. And I just do not have that personality. I have to be doing something. But if I'm going to be doing it, I'm going to be passionate about it. And so I was also struggling with some weight loss, and I kept seeing Christy pop up on my stories with that consistency. She was showing herself and her results of her postpartum weight loss. And so she wrote me and she's just like, hey girl, I was just wondering if you'd be interested in the business opportunity. You know, have you ever thought about doing what I'm doing? And I was like, so I really hadn't really thought about it, but I am interested in some products. So can you tell me exactly what I need? She gave me some product recommendations, and the fear is literally what was just holding me from starting, you guys. It had nothing to do with me not wanting to do it because I knew that I needed to do something, but at that time I was a little bit scared. So I was like, I'm going to wait, but I'm going to start the products. And then I told her, I said, but listen, if I get results, you have my word, I will become a distributor with you. And you guys, I didn't even know her from Adam, and I literally started my products. She messaged me and asked if I had received them. I was like, yep, started. Within a week, I had already dropped down 4 pounds and I had more energy than I knew what to do with. It was like, I literally say that the products pulled me out of my postpartum depression. And so I just was super scared, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. I talked to my husband about it. He's like, yeah, I think you should do it. You know, if you don't go out of your comfort zone, you're not going to grow. So I literally called her on FaceTime and I was like, hey girl, she was like in the car with all of her kids and she's like, hey, like, what's up? I was like, I'm ready to do this. Like, let's go, you know? And you guys, I know that this is a fear of mine too, is like asking somebody for their social security number. I was like, I've always been scared to do that, but Christy's like, okay, I just need this, this, and this. I need your social security number. I'm like, okay, cool. I literally sent it over to her, you guys. When you're confident, you don't worry about it. Because I'm like, okay, obviously this girl's trustworthy. So I sent her over all of my information. I got signed up and she kind of explained things to me about how, you know, you go ruby, emerald, diamond, you know, and she's like, I really think you can go diamond in 90 days. And so I said, okay, you know, I'm going to try this. And so she's like, no, you're going to do this. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this, you know? So she's like, it's all about your mindset. And you guys, I was terrified when I started. I'm like, I was literally an introvert. I wasn't happy with the way I looked. And literally, like, even the simple things of her telling me that, like, you have to take yourself, like, pictures of yourself every day. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't even like how I look right now. I don't want to message people. I didn't want to do all the things, but obviously that is what is going to help you to grow. And that is why I am here even talking with you guys, is because I had to get out of that comfort zone. So just every little step gets you to where you want to be. I literally double promoted. Or no, sorry, I went ruby and then I went from ruby, I skipped over emerald and I went diamond. And then 15 days later, I went double diamond. And then I went triple, gosh, what was it? I think I was 10 months in. I don't even remember.
I think it was like 9.5, you guys, but she also took her husband diamond and then he was also the double for her triple as well, which is, it's double the work, but it's also double the money.
Yeah, so double the paychecks. But it was just crazy, you guys, because I literally, like I say, I started for that extra $500 a month to help my husband, and here I am now, and now he's like, honey, good check this month, you know? He's like, you're making more than I am. So it's just been absolutely amazing, and honestly, if it wasn't for this business, I say it's literally my saving grace in every aspect of life, you guys, so I love it.
Oh, I love that. Okay. You guys, like, everybody starts for the money, but your story will become more than that. And it won't be until you look back and you're like, what just happened? Like, I'm not that same person. So we already discussed what you want to share and talk about. So I'm just going to mute myself and let you go.
All right, perfect. So first things first, everybody grab your phones, because then you're going to click in the top right of this Zoom, and you are going to click the little squares. Okay, in the top right, you'll see the slide of everyone's pictures. I want you all to click that, and then everybody get your phone out and go to your Instagram stories. And by the way, I realized how much work it saves by doing all of your stories through Instagram and linking them to your Facebook, you guys, because it's less work. It's literally so much less work. You don't have to upload to your Facebook and your Instagram. You can sync them both. So if you go to your Instagram right now, you're going to click on your story, and then you're going to hit the little plus sign in the top left corner. And then the bottom, it says boomerang. So you're going to slide it over to boomerang. And then once you're on boomerang, you're going to click a little filter, and everybody smile and take a boomerang of your team training. And then you're going to take it and you're going to post Monday night team training. And then that's going to be like a little interaction slide. Once you're done with that, then I'll go on with my other tips. Okay, so then I'm assuming everyone probably already did it. But okay, so let's go forward. So you guys love creating stories. I will tell you too that when I started with the business, that was one of the first things that I asked Christy, is because I felt like her stories were just super, super cute. And so I was like, how do you do your stories? What apps are you using? Tell me all the details. What do I need to purchase? You guys, I literally ended up having to put some things on my credit card, but I also was trusting the path that God was taking me down, that I was going to be able to earn that back. So if you don't have the Over app of the purchased one, you can still access certain things. And so, oops, there we go. Okay, so then what you're going to do is, somebody was just asking, Christy, I'm going to tell them really fast. Sorry. So when you're on your stories, you're going to hit the plus sign, like after you click stories, and then you're going to hit in the top left, it'll pop up and it'll have a little plus sign. Once you click the plus sign at the bottom right here, you guys, it says boomerang, and you're going to literally slide your camera over or just tap boomerang. And if your little emblem looks like this in there, these are all my filters that you can see, but you just literally hit the boomerang and barely move your phone, like kind of just tilt it a little bit. And then you can like put a little caption, you can write on it, you can do all those fun things. Anyway, so continuing forward, with the Over app, you guys, I purchased the one from day one, so I could be explaining some things that maybe you guys don't have it. Like I said, you can always figure out that app and use just kind of accordingly. So whenever I go to the Over app, always super important. When you are creating stories, you guys, what you're going to do is, oops, let me see here. So this is the Over, like the Over app is a little yellow circle. When you're in the Over app, you have this little thing here. Right when you log in, there's a plus sign. You're going to click on the plus sign. And then you are going to, it'll come up with this thing where it has these options up here. And I always just select the white background. And then make sure, super important, otherwise it will cut them off. Make sure you slide this over right here to story size. It will say story. And then you're going to click on that. And then in the top right, you click the little yellow check mark. And then say, for instance, like you guys, in our team page, there is in the albums, there's business stories. So if you're not quite sure how to use the business, like to use the app and utilize it and what to write on the slides, make sure that you guys go into the albums of the team page or in the Telegram app. But the team page at least has it separated out for you for like business stories and product stories. But you're going to go in there and you're literally going to click business stories, and then you're just going to get ideas from there. And you're going to be able to type out, starting this business. So one that I have here, whoops, I just did it today actually. One that I did today is just super simple, to the point. It kind of just talks about my story. And granted, like if you don't have a story and you're brand new, you guys, it's okay. Get ideas from other people's stories because it's simple. Talk about where you want to go with this business. I started this business because, I'm here because, and this is where I want to go. I want to pay off debt. I want to do this. I want to get healthy, things like that. So it says, my first slide, you guys, literally I selected a white background and then I just put a cute picture of myself on there. So when you're on the app, once you do the white slide, it'll give you the option to add image in the bottom left. You're going to add image and you're going to literally pick some of your things. Oh yeah, where did you come from? Sorry, Christy, I was like, wait, what is she asking me? So literally on the stories, where did you come from? Where are you at? And what are your goals? So when you're making these. So mine just says like, hey there friends, I'm Shandee. I'm a wife and a mom of 2 kids. I found myself struggling with postpartum depression. Okay. So that was like my first slide. So talking about myself, where I came from. Okay. So that's why I started this business. And then my next slide has a picture of my kids, and you tap it. The next slide that I created, it says I was tired of living paycheck to paycheck and I wanted more for my kids, more for myself, and more for my family's future. And then I have a picture of me and Christy, you know, because she's the person that I enrolled with. And so it just says this girl who had been falling through social media offered me a business opportunity. I said no thanks, but I told her I would try some of the products that she had gotten results with. And then literally I shared, you know, like my before and afters that are corporate approved, because I lost 28 pounds using our products. And so I just said, you know, after using the products for 1 week, I dove in head first to what has been the best choice of my entire life. And then this business allows me to work from home, be present in my kids' lives, and change lives of so many others, you guys. And just doing like cute photos of yourself. I literally didn't even know how to pose with my photos, you guys, but I just like looked up like blogger type photos or followed different people on social media to kind of get an idea of how to pose for these photos. Like doing pictures of like your phone and your
I was just going to say, like, with what you're saying, you guys, you have to be resourceful. Like, go look at Shandee's page, go look at Alexis's page, go look at Cheyenne's page, go look at someone's page, and then just literally be like, okay, she posed like this. I'm going to pose like this too. Like, you will just start to learn, but you have to be resourceful to be like looking at it. Like, I still get lost on stories sometimes, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I'll go to different leaders' stories and I'll be like, this is a great idea, and I'll screenshot it, and then I'll just go create my own by mimicking it as like almost like the template.
Yeah, exactly. And then I just kind of talk about like my journey. So you guys, that story, if you guys want to go view my Facebook or my Instagram right now, that story is literally up there. So screenshot each slide. That's literally what I did. And honestly, that's how I created that story, is exactly like Christy said. I went to another leader and I screenshot every single slide. And then I knew exactly how to recreate my own stories. And it's simple. Like, you don't always have to do a ton of crazy things on the backgrounds, you guys. In fact, if I'm being completely honest with you, I feel like kind of like Christy honestly had to, like, as Cheyenne said, beat a dead horse, because she kept like telling me and I wasn't getting it. But I was like trying to do all these fun, like bright, crazy colored ones. But honestly, the ones that get the most interaction are the ones that are so simple, you guys. White background, cute pictures that are bright and catchy, and then literally just like doing the context of like a different thing. And so another thing too is like, I feel like sometimes people always ask like, how do you make the slides like pop the text? Because I know that was a question for mine. So like, say on one of the slides, you know, you tap and then like the next slide comes up and it like says one thing and then the next thing pops up when you tap it. You guys, that's literally all you do is save it and then go back and then retype it and save it again and just upload them in that order. So you can use tons of different fonts on there. If you do want to do a background, say for instance, you see somebody's and you're like, how did they do that background? You guys, all you do, again, using the Over app, when you're on there, you are going to click it and then you can just hit graphics. And so for me, I'm a huge leopard print fan. If you know, follow me, you know that. So I'll type in the graphics, I'll type in leopard print, and then I'll literally get the background, right? But here's the thing is, if it's too bright and you can't read the words, like if it's overbearing, they're not going to be able to understand what your thing says. So like, for instance, you know, like I'll pick one. Whoops. Usually I pick like a lighter one just so, sorry, my phone's being slow up here. All right, whatever, I'm just going to select this one. So like, I select the background, you guys, and then once it uploads, I literally slide it over, like, and I click on the background, right? So it popped up. So it pops up this size, but then you slide your fingers to edit it over your background. And then literally you're gonna see down here, you're gonna slide it over to where it says opacity. And then I always like to make mine super light so that they're barely in the background, so that it, like when you do type or do anything, it's not overbearing and it's just like it's a shadow in the background. And then, like I said, just uploading your photos on there, telling your story, things like that, just making sure that you're super consistent with it. And those are your business stories, you know, just talking about like exactly like Christy said, you know, where you were, where you're at now, how you got started, and where you're going. And so just making sure that you keep those loaded, and you guys, it's super important to have those in there each day. And on the very last slide, you can do like a context that says, if you're interested in what I do, swipe up and message me, or, vote on my poll. To make it transparent, you select the opacity, Natalie. And then, yes, so that's pretty much it on the business stories. Is that really what you were wanting, Christy? Do you want me to?
Yeah. And you guys, like, the thing is that it needs to be consistent. I've had people reply to my stories like all the time, and I'm like, why don't I have new ones every single day? But just keep in mind, the greatest part about the Over app is that you can go back and like edit specific things. So it'll stay in your, I don't even know what it's called, like saved folder. And literally all you have to do is you could just click the background of Shandee's and change the background and then switch out the picture. You could even use the same word.
I forgot to tell that.
No.
If you see this story, I kind of forgot. And don't forget the IDS, you guys. The last slide has got to be the income disclosure statement. If you do not have that with on you, make sure that you ask your leader for it, because it's super important to have that on there. And with your post and everything, you have to make sure that you have that on there right now if you're talking about the business. So doing the IDS on there. And then like Christy said, especially if you're new and you're not super creative yet and you haven't gotten that side of you, it's okay, you guys, to use some stuff in the beginning off of other people. If you like my story, screenshot it. You can either duplicate your own, or you can put your photo over mine. If it's just one that says something simple like, I'm looking for, a couple people that want to, work from home, simple, flexible hours, things like that. You can totally just put your pictures over the top of other people's. So that's another option too. But just making sure that you have them up each day and just being super consistent with it. Because I feel like it's easy to fall back. And if you don't stay consistent, you guys, just like anyone will tell you here, you will literally, if you miss one step on the 90 days to diamond success, you guys are literally shooting your own self in your foot, and your business will not succeed or go any further. So in order to be successful, you have to do all the steps. So
yeah, I love that. And you guys, let's remember what Shai said, literally 70% of people, that's where they go first. That's where they go first. And so I know it can be kind of obnoxious. Some people are obsessed with making stories, and I'm not one of those people. I'm this is very time consuming. But that's why
no excuses.
Yeah, but there is no excuses. So
there is no excuses.
What I'll do too, you guys, is I'll go take a post. So if I see a post that Shandee made, if it talks about objections, I'll put that on a story. Let's just say she's talking about fear of failure. I'll be like, oh, that's a great story. And I'll just literally make 4 or 5 slides of me, in a picture, and then talking about the objection at the bottom, because it's the same thing. We want to go through objections just the same way as we're talking to them through a post. We want to share our story just the same way. And then I'll share one thing, and then we'll jump over to Makayla. Do you have anything else you want to share, Shandee?
No, that was just literally my main thing, and just making sure that you're super consistent, you guys. And I know it's easy to come up with excuses, but I was just a little bit of my story, you guys. A week ago, I literally had a miscarriage, and it literally rocked my world. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I was telling Christy, I wanted to just literally close my phone and not do this, you guys, because I was so overwhelmed and hurting. But you guys, I feel like this is my place. This is my happy place. This is what makes me happy. I've gotten so much support from this team that it's unbelievable. And just being consistent, you guys, with those stories, people notice. I've had people reach out to me girl, you're so strong for still doing this on top of the fact that you're going through this. But it's those people realize that even though I'm going through something and I'm still consistent, you guys, they're going to go after the person that's being consistent versus the person that's just posting every once in a while. So consistency is just key, and don't give yourself any excuses whatsoever, because there are none. If people can do it through the hard times or through 3 or 4 jobs, you can do this too. So just remember that.
No, I love that, because you guys, that will be your number one excuse. Anything that happens to you, but that's just what this life is sometimes, you guys. That's just what it is. I know Alexis was in the hospital with her baby, well, not her baby, but her other baby. She's got a lot of babies. She was literally in the hospital just a few days ago. Sorry, I'm turning this. She was just in the hospital a few days ago, and her husband's off, and he's military and whatever. And she just does it anyways. Shandee just does it anyways. Eliana was saying the other day, she just does it anyways when she was going through postpartum. This is the thing that you jump into, right? So Something too that I wanted to share about kind of what she was saying, and I got off track, but you guys, what I will do is I will kind of go on like a spree, because there's sometimes where I'm just like feeling it. Like, you know, when you're just like feeling clean in your house, and there's time where you're like, I'm not feeling it. So when I'm like feeling it, making stories, like I'm going to make a bunch tonight. So I'm literally just going to go, I'm going to find a bunch of ideas from other people, screenshot them, and I'm just going to make like 5 different ones, switch out the background, switch a few words. And that's going to be things, because you can use the same ones over and over. Like, you know, I use ones from 2 months ago, right? Not a lot of people are going to be like, you posted that 2 months ago. They might be. And if they do, they're going to be like, wow, that's really easy for her to work her business. She just reposts the same thing. And so just like what Shandee said too, the stars, the hearts, the this, the that, it's okay to have them, but not a lot of them, because your eyes, it's just like why our before and afters, you know, when somebody makes a before and after with 4 pictures, you're like, it takes you a minute to focus on it. You're like, okay, wait, where's the before? Where's the after? Whereas if there's just one before, one after, it like beams at you. It's the same way on stories, you guys, you literally have 1 second to get their attention for them to hold it and read it. If there is too much going on, they will move on. I don't ever do more than like 3 lines of words usually, because too long and you'll lose them. They won't read it. Too many hard starts, rainbows, this and that, you'll lose them. Like it really should be very, very, very simple, like what she was saying. So I don't want you guys to think like, oh my gosh, I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, Liza, she tried to get around it. You know, she was like, I just can't figure it out. I just can't figure it out. I just can't figure out over like, and she's like, just help me. I can't figure it out. I'm like, listen, girl, I already told you how to do it. Now you just have to practice doing it. I went to YouTube. I found her a video. I literally typed in, you guys, YouTube. You can find everything on YouTube. I was like, please let there be a video on this, because I can't explain it again. And I just literally typed in like how to use overwrap. And there's like 100 videos. And I sent her one. I was like, this is your last chance. Like, I can't do anything else. And guess what? She was like, I figured it out. And she was so excited. So you guys, like, you can figure anything out. And I promise you, at first the overwrap was not my friend. I was like, this is not cool. Like, this is just too much. But it's just what it is. Where the people go is where I go. Okay, so Makayla. How wonderful. I get to see all 3 of these lovely ladies on Thursday. I'm very excited for them. Just so you guys know, our corporate has an event on Thursday. It's like a in-home camping event type of thing. If you have local people, like get together with them, you know, stream it and whatnot and do all those things. But there you are. Hey girl.
Hi, how are you?
Good, you're so good. Okay, so who are you?
Okay, I want to apologize firsthand because my husband is building my parent-in-law's like basement right now. So if there's pounding or anything, I'm sorry in advance. But I'm Makayla Bentley, and I am a double diamond, but not for much longer because I'm going triple this month, which I'm so pumped about. But basically, like, just a little bit about me. So I actually originally had moved to Vegas when I was 18. I'm originally from Washington, and I was super into Instagram at the time. And there's this girl who just like kept asking me to join her business, and I was like, no way, like that's totally like not for me. And I just ignored her. And then I was on Facebook one day and I saw Disneyland tickets, and I was like, okay, I want in on this. So Christy actually was doing like HAP, and I ended up like commenting on one girl's HAP, and Christy added me and was like, okay, to be entered into the giveaway, you have to do this. And I was like, yeah, I don't want them that bad. Like, it's okay. Like, I really just like didn't want the tickets. And I was very like, my Facebook and Instagram are like aesthetically pleasing to the eye. Like, I just don't want to ruin that. And I just like kept seeing Christy on my feed pop up. And I remember one time I messaged her and was like, there's no way that's real money. Like, you're not making real money. And I was such a brat and just like so oblivious to it. But I was just working in Vegas, and then finally Christy had like just continually reached out to me. And that was, I want to say it was like April or May of last year. And you guys, I literally didn't join the business until December of last year. So she just like kept following up with me, and I was like, no, like I don't want to do this. I'm scared of what people are going to think of me, and just yada yada yada. So she ended up like messaging me, and she was like, I think that you should just like pray. You should pray about joining the business. And it's so crazy because the night before I literally prayed for something to just like come into my life so that I could like make an extra income. Oh, I have the chills right now. But I was like, I need something because I wasn't sure like how I was gonna afford my bills or anything, and my parents had like cut me off from everything and all of that fun stuff. So when she messaged me that, I was like, okay, I'm ready. And literally without hesitation, I just like gave her my card, my social, everything, and was like, here you go, like sign me up, like whatever. And at the time I was dating my now husband, and I told him, I was like, I just started a business. And he was like, what? And I was like, never mind, I didn't start a business. Like, and I literally kept it a secret for so long. And it just like was so insane because I wasn't very consistent in the beginning, and Christy would just like get on my case about it. But after I heard the bonuses at conference, I was like, you guys, I have to do this. Like, I just graduated aesthetic school. Like, I have a student loan that I need to pay off and everything. And so I literally was like, okay, I'm jumping in like 2 feet. In February, I just like decided that I was going to make this work and make it happen. And I remember like telling Christy, being like, do you think I'd be diamond by my wedding, which was supposed to be in June? She's like, yeah, you'll be diamond by your wedding. And I literally hit double diamond last month. So that just goes to show you guys, like, when you're consistent and you just put your faith like in the business, it'll all work out how it's supposed to. But I'm just super grateful for the business, and I love it, and I love what we do, and like the people that I get to meet from it. And my husband loves that I do this because he's like, you just get to be home all the time and you're so happy. And even my parents in Washington, they'll always like tell me, they're like, you just seem so much more happier. Like, we're so glad that you're doing what you're doing. So it's really nice to like have that support system too.
I love that. And it's, you guys, like, there was a time, I think maybe a month in, she's like, I'm just so busy. Like, I just can't like work the business. Like, she's like, I'm working 12 hours. And I was like, well, if you don't mind me asking, like, how much do you make? She's like 12, 10 or 12, I don't know. It was something ridiculously low. And I was like, really? Like, you guys, like, you got to call the freaking elephant out. I was like, really? Like, is that your freaking plan? Like, come on. And because I knew that she could do very well. But you guys, that's so funny that you say that, though, because I didn't realize you came from a host to post. So this is how I remember it. Just real quick, I'm going to share. So there's this girl that I became friends with on Facebook, and she was like, she did pageants, and she was very gorgeous, and I had offered her the business, and she very sweetly declined after she said like she was interested. And then she was like, no, my mom tried something before, I don't think this is for me, whatever, followed up. And then I was like, you know what, if she's not going to sign, I'm just going to sign her friends up, and then maybe she'll sign with them. And I would see the pictures of you guys, and I was like, well, her friend's really cute, so I'm gonna sign her friend up. And I did. But like, I don't think anything happens by accident. Like, I literally feel like that was just like divine intervention, because I was like, you know what, I'm gonna sign her up. Like, I'm gonna freaking sign her up. And I remember too, you guys, like, is she not like the cutest thing ever? I remember I showed Aaron your picture, and he's like, she looks very nice. And I was like, doesn't she look very nice? She sounds very nice. Because her voice message, she's always like, okay, yeah, sure, thank you. And he's like, she sounds very nice. I'm like, she is. But anyways, it just shows, and you make me sound like the craziest person ever. I feel like you're like, I said no, but she just wouldn't let me go. But that's just what it is, you guys. Follow up. There's some people, like, I don't really like let go of anybody, but there's some people that I kind of back off. I'm like, you know what, you're not worth my time. And then there's other people where I'm like, literally, I'm gonna chase you until you block me, and you were one of those people. So yeah, anyways, and look at you now. It's so awesome. I'm like, God is telling me to follow up with this girl every single day. And just so you guys know, I'm pretty sure she gave me her like I think you gave me like half of your information once. And then I was like,
Yeah.
she didn't finish.
I like gave her everything except for my card and social and was like, dang, I don't think I really want to do this, and just like ignored her for like another 2 weeks. And that's why she was like, just pray about it, please. And I was like, okay, fine. But
I knew I'd get her sweet soul with that one.
it's a
Not in
funny
a bad way,
story.
but in a serious way. I'm like, I hope she gets the right answers.
And it's so funny because that friend that I have, a mutual friend, she's actually my best friend, and she like will talk to me all the time, and I'm still working on her. One day she'll join this business, I'm convinced, but she'll be like, I didn't really think people actually made that much money. And then like when she sees it firsthand, probably the same thing with like Cheyenne and Mikkel, but like once you see someone, you're like, wow, why didn't I join sooner? So
yeah, she'll definitely join. Yeah, for sure. It's one of those things, you guys, just so you know, the closest people to you aren't always necessarily the most supportive. They have to like see it to believe it first, because they know your flaws. Like my family knows all my flaws. So they were like, loser. And I was like, watch me. But I actually did not have that much confidence in the beginning. I do now. But anyways, okay. So can you share all of your goodies and your tips with us?
Yes. Okay. So I have notes too because I'm super nervous. Christy called me out on that. But I'm going to talk about product stories and then also just like building interaction with questions that are completely non-related to the business. So I'll kind of just like chat about product stories for a second. But I swear by 3 apps to make my product stories, and that's Instagram, obviously, the Over app, and then Pinterest. I know Shandee said she likes to use just like graphics as the background, but to make my life a little bit easier, I will literally just search like cute iPhone wallpapers on Pinterest, and they'll come up with so many freaking backgrounds, and I'm like, that's just one less step that I have to do. Or I'll just use a white and black like blank template, whatever. But one thing I always make sure of is that my story is appealing to the eye. I actually did social media when I was in Vegas for a salon, and we just had to keep things super simple. And I do know that Christy sometimes gets on my case about mine not being that simple, so I'm trying to keep it simple for you guys. But like everybody else has said, you just want to make sure that your audience knows what you're promoting and what it's doing for them, and you don't want like all those crazy hearts or story or stars. And then another thing is iPhone wallpapers. You gotta watch out because all of the like crazy collage ones are awful because you can never see the text on them. So I literally just keep a board on my Pinterest, but I'll start by choosing what I want to like showcase. So for example, if it's going to be weight loss, I'll try to pick like 2 or 3 products that I can showcase. So I'll do like the triple threat usually, which is the keto coffee, TFX, and then also the greens. And then rule of thumb for me is I always try to keep my product stories 3 to 5 slides, because if there's a lot, people just want to like skip through your stories. So then I'll also use Pinterest for corporate approved photos, and you can literally type like keto coffee results and it'll pop up with results, and I'll steal like ones that have slight change over just a couple of months, and then some that have been like 8 to 9 months, so that people can know these are real people. Some people get results quicker than others. So that's how I do it. And one thing Christy has ingrained in my brain is people want results. People don't want to just see like the picture of the coffee packaging. They want to see actual results, and they want to know that they work. So once I get all of my background and then my like results, I'll just hop over in the Over app, and that's really where most of the magic happens. So I am going to use my phone just so I don't miss anything. So I'll pull up the Over app, and like I'll just add an image. So right there, I'll tap on an image, and I just have, I don't know if you guys can see that, but I just have like a background already. And I always make sure to change it to the story size. So you can just literally go through here, and there's one that's story, so that it will always fit your stories. You don't have to like crop it or anything. And then when you're also in the Over app, same thing, there's the image. And then this is where I go and get like a result photo, and I just literally add it to the template and background. And then I'll just start by putting up whatever I'm showcasing, huge letters. My favorite is, I like to play around with fonts. So you can literally like go right by image and click text. And then they have all these fonts. And if you guys are ever looking for more fonts, scroll all the way to the back. It's pretty far back there on mine. And you can click this yellow button and it says get more. So if there's a font that you like don't like, or you're looking for script or whatever it may be, you can click get more and then just go through that. And then I'll just always showcase like triple threat sale. And I'll tell you guys why I always say sale. But with the color, you guys can always like change it. So if your background, if it looks better with black text, I'll always change it to black so it's bolder and people can like notice what I'm doing. And then I'll just keep it super simple and introduce that first product and show a result. And then on the next page, I'll usually do another result, talk about the keto coffee, what it does for us, and why that person would want it, and then so on for each product that I'm kind of like explaining about, just so people know these are real results and this is what it's going to do for you, because that's what people want. So that is what I have on there. So I just literally do that. And then I will also sometimes replace the results with testimonies, because I think that is huge when people actually see like you're getting a real message from one of your LCs or someone else's loyal customers. And they're just like, oh my gosh, I dropped 10 pounds and I wasn't even consistent with TFX this month. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to share that. So that's something that I really like to do, just because it's real. Like I always try to make it really noticeable for my followers that like these are real people. I'm not making it up, like these aren't fake product testers or anything. And then on my very, very last slide, I always do a call to action, because I notice that if I do a call to action, that's when I get the most customers from a story. It's like, for me, I get a lot of people who are like, okay, I'm ready to start, but I also get so much more interaction when I'm the person like reaching out to them, and that's where I sign a lot of my loyal customers. So on the last one, I'll always do like a poll with saying like more info or discount, or like Christy said, just reply fat burning or something like that. And then one thing that I have just recently changed, and probably a lot of you guys saw it, but I love to use the quiz option on Instagram, because you can showcase like weight management, more energy, give them a bunch of different options, and then depending on what they click, you can go ahead and message them, and you already kind of know like, okay, you're looking for more energy, so I'm going to start out by like if you need more energy throughout the day, or if you need more energy to work out, like whatever that may be. So I love that. And then another thing is I always try to put like the retail price, not becoming a loyal customer. So for the triple threat, usually it's like $203 if they're not a loyal customer, plus that $50 membership fee. But I would say retail price $203, sale price $118 right now with the pick 2 for $59, because then they really see like, oh, this is really actually on sale. And so that's what I like to do. And then the Over app, I know Shandee went over it a lot, but you can like add graphics on it. You can change your text. You can also like use the different features called mask. That's kind of like getting into it, but you can, I know one girl asked me one time like how I just cut out me in my single picture. There's a feature called mask on there. So the more you guys get comfortable with Over, the more you'll kind of play around with it. So that's what happened with me. I hated Over when I first started this business, and I was like, I can't figure it out. And here I am sharing tips with you guys tonight. So it works. Just be like completely open to it and just like have faith that you'll get there. And then another thing, I actually have recently been doing this. So I don't have a crazy big following on Instagram. I probably have like 2,700 followers, and I get a lot of story interactions, and I think it's just because I'm consistent with it, but also maybe just like my followers, whatever that may be. But this is huge for me, because if my interaction is low, and by low, like for me, it's like 300 views on a story. If it's super low, I will try to do like non-business related asking questions. So I'll just take one of those Pinterest backgrounds, and I will literally just go on and put it on Instagram and like put up a poll and do this or that. and it'll be like summer or winter, or beach or city, or like one of the questions I actually did was like, do you have debt or no debt? Because I was trying to reel people into like seeing what I do and like whatnot. And so that's been a key for me. And I noticed that when I spice that up and do it about like once a week or so, my story views literally go from like 300 to like 750. And that's a lot considering that I only have like 2,700 followers on there. But I love that because people want to play around with those games, and they'll like, when people are interacting with your story as well, it gets bumped to the front. And that's, Instagram algorithm is really hard, and you like have to try to beat it all the time. So I feel like that's one thing that's helped me, because then I notice the days that I end up doing that, my posts actually get a lot more likes too. But that is what I do, and just being super consistent with it, and kind of like what Shai said, breaking it up between everything. But yeah, that's just what I do. It works for me, and I know if you guys are consistent with it, it'll work for you too.
I love that. You guys, it's so funny because like it's you and Shai, you're like so like soft spoken. And you guys are just like, here's a fact for you, here's a tip for you. And like me and Shandee are like, listen up. But it's just good. It's good to have a mix of people. Thank you so much, Makayla. Okay, so just going based upon what she said, you guys, let's share a couple things in the comments, like just to really help people. And you know what? I'm gonna get something for you guys made for the 6 a.m. power hour. So be on or miss out. I'll do like some sort of interactive thing, because it really is like, if I have a lot of business or product stuff, sometimes I do a lot and I don't realize it, because I'm like, oh my gosh, we have this sale. Oh my gosh, I'm making my celery. Oh my gosh, I'm making my shake. Oh my gosh, I'm making my greens. Oh my gosh. And then I'm like, okay, calm down. So what I will do is I simply like take a video of my kids, and I'm like, I'm going to throw that up there. That's like me like gaining interaction, because it's like TV, you guys. So that's obviously during the day, because not everybody's going to watch it at night. But I love the polls and the questions, you guys. And like what Shai was saying, like get something up, even if it's nothing big, get a quote ready for like when you know you're at work. Go use the bathroom, put the quote up so that you can be bumped back to the front. Like whatever it is, just keep it very simple. But the way that I like to think about it is, we are a reality show. And so what do you want to see on a reality show? Like, let's just say, for example, what are those girls' names? The Kardashians. Okay, you can clearly see I don't watch so much TV. Right? Like on their reality show, they're not like, oh my gosh, my lipstick. Like they're not. But guess what? They've made bajillions of dollars with their lipstick. It's because they have drawn you into them. That's it. The personal part of it. Okay. Not saying you have to be like sharing drama and stuff, but they have drawn you into connecting with them. So then when they are selling something, you don't even question it. You're like, I'm connected to them, so I'm going to buy that. I trust what they're saying. Right. And so for me, like I like to just mix stuff in with my kids. If I didn't have kids, you guys, like I have one of my girls, like she shares like videos of her dog, like whatever it is. But one other tip, you guys, about stories is bring value. That is like a really big thing why people will follow you. So pick 1 or 2 things that you want to bring value to your followers. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because if you're consistent with it, that is the kind of network that you're following. That are going to follow you. It's like a theme. Right? So for example, you like to ride bikes. So you're sharing about the trails that you go on. You share about the bike parts. You share you going on a bike ride each day. Those are the kind of followers you get. You're like, you just Google like tips on bike riding. I don't know, like best bike riding shoes, whatever it is. And you start to share that. That's the kind of followers that you get. Your mom, share mom tips. It doesn't matter, you guys, like you don't have to be this big genius. You know, you do, you go to Google. Tips for being moms, best mom products. Every single kid I've had, I've said, which stroller is the best? I didn't even buy a new stroller for my 2nd, 3rd, or my 4th kid. But every single time I did a post on Facebook and I did a poll on stories. What's your favorite stroller? Like share with me, because people like to share their opinions. So any question that you can ask, okay? Any question you can ask that someone's going to share their opinion, you want to ask it, like, oh my gosh, like, frosty, vanilla chocolate frosty. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, just like what Makayla said, like summer, winter, beach, or this, whatever. And those make great host to post posts as well. But it's just about interacting with your followers. That's really all it is. Like, I don't have to do questions that much because people will follow me just because they know I'm going to post videos of my kids, and they just happen to do like really crazy stuff every single day. And so that kind of gains my interaction. But there's times where if my interaction's low, I don't do a business or a product for a minute. I'll throw up a bunch of personal, and then I'll do like a video of me using a product. So I'm showing my face. So you guys, like, this is all, yeah, you can put anything you guys want in the comments. This is all going to be new to a lot of you guys. And a lot of you guys are brand new and you're like, I have no idea what's going on, but I'm going to put the recording up. And I want you guys to really take notes and apply these things because they're very, very simple things. Very, very, very simple things. But you tweaking them is going to be a game changer. It's just like I'll just share what Shandee shared with a lot of us too. So she was having a hard time growing her network. Okay. She built a lot of her business with her warm network, meaning like her friends, family, Facebook, friends of friends. Like that was like a huge part of her going triple very quickly. And then she's like, okay, I'm having a hard time gaining more followers on Instagram. I'm having a hard time getting people to follow me back on Facebook. And so I'm like, okay, well, try this. She's like, it's not working. I'm like, okay, try this. She's like, it's not working. I'm like, okay, try this. She's like, it's not working. Well, she heard from somebody else that they on their Facebook will just post their they'll post their like personal stuff public, but their business stuff like private, meaning just to friends. So when she goes and adds people, they don't see that she's like selling something immediately. They actually get to know her. Kind of the same thing with putting your Instagram on private. It's just really simple tweaks that are going to really change your business, but you have to be willing to do the activities. And so I want to encourage every single one of you guys to get on with us at 6 a.m. We give you the posts. We give you the messages. We give you everything, literally everything you need. Tomorrow we'll do some follow-ups, like every single thing that you need. We are going to do that first initial message, and then the whole team page has scripts for you. Your enroller they're going to be able to help you through the rest of that. But that 1 hour of focused work, it really is going to be a game changer. And you just have to be willing to not think about who or why you're messaging. You just do what we show you to do. And then take these little tips about stories to grow your network and to gain your interaction so that when you're doing the messaging and the posting, you have the people come to you. Because I promise you, none of these girls have huge followings. Like I have like a bajillion more followers than a lot of them, but my views, it sounds like Makayla's views, like sometimes are just as high as mine because she has great interaction. So the fact that you have like 700 or 900, like that's like a huge percent. Like that's like 40%, or I don't know how many followers you have, but anyway, so take these tips, you guys, and apply them, but really be consistent with keeping your stories up each day and getting your posts out each day. Like that is the bare minimum for telling people that you are showing up every single day. Yes, 6 a.m. Pacific time. And so I really just want you guys to be on here tomorrow. So hopefully we can have as many people on the Power Hour. I think Stacey's team might do their own, but I hope that we can have 237 people on with us. Well, we have 300. So 300 people on with us, Power Hour tomorrow. And it's been great. Really quick, I'll share. It's been great for my newbies that they still don't even know really what to do or how to do it. They have been doing it and getting activities. You are not paid to have 10,000 followers. I have girls that I've signed up that they have 10,000 Instagram followers. They don't make $1 because they don't do anything. And then I have girls who have 5,000 followers and they're making 20 grand. And you're like, what is happening? You don't get paid on being the cutest, the most popular, having the favorite post. You get paid on signing customers and signing distributors. So don't overthink it. Just figure out how to sign customers and to sign distributors. And that's what we're teaching you. So anyways, yes, likes does not equal money. It just doesn't. And that's something that I personally had to let go of because I was like, wow, this post didn't get very much interaction. And I was like, it doesn't matter. If I felt like I needed to post it, that post was meant for someone. So anyways, I will see you guys. It's always the same code, this Zoom, unless your team has a different one that you're doing, then just ignore what I just said. But if you can't get on, go back and do it. But check yourself, because if you can't actually get on, that's okay. If you can and you're just being lazy and not waking up, I'm going to call you out. You are just being lazy. So anyways, early bird does get the worm, I have learned. So love you all, and I will see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Okay?